For this next video, I'm going to show you how to begin to program the robot. So what you need to do is look on your computer screen and find the app for Lego Mindstorm. So it should look like that. So I'm going to go ahead and double click. Now what will happen is a screen that looks like this will appear. Almost always this will pop up. Would you like to update your firmware? You always just want to say not now. So just say no. Alright, so here's the login screen. You don't really need to worry about anything on this screen except this little plus button in the corner. So right here you need to just simply click and open. The program will open. Now as you can see, there's a little side box in front of the main screen here. We don't use that, so you can X out of it by hitting this close content editor icon. And here we go. We have a blank platform for a program. Now what you need to do, down here there are colored tabs, green and orange and yellow and red and blue and then a teal. The only two that we are going to become very familiar with are these green and yellow tabs. So the green is like the action, telling the motors what to do. We will always start with this move steering block because that makes both motors move at the same time. So it's kind of like the legs that you have on your robot. So we'll click and drag that up here. Now, what options you have are, this is essentially telling the robot to move forward. So right now it's counting, it's going to count rotations. So it says on for rotations. Right now it's counting how many times you want it to turn its wheels. So right now we have it on for rotations. There's also on for degrees or on for seconds. So here, on for seconds would tell the robot to run its motor for a certain amount of time. On for degrees, it's a little more complicated, but it would tell the robot how to run its motor at what angle. On for rotations is much simpler to me. I like to do rotations just because it's easy to calculate. Alright, this next block shows the direction you want the robot to be going. So you can kind of go into the positives if you want it to go towards the right, into the negative numbers if you want it to go towards the left. Typically, if you want it to go straight, you keep it on 0. This next icon is the power level. It's essentially how fast, how much power do you want to give your robot. If you go into high power, 100, that's the fastest the robot will rotate its wheels. 0 is a standstill, it will not move. If you go into negative numbers, did you see how the arrow changed direction? So here it's pointing up. When you go into the negative numbers, the robot will move backwards at a certain speed. So if you're at negative 100, the robot will move backwards as fast as it can. So we're just going to keep it at 60, it's good. Alright, so since we have it on for rotations, we have it going straight at 60% power. Right now the robot knows to rotate his wheels 1 time. We can tell it to rotate his wheels 10 times. We can tell him to rotate his wheels 5 times. It just depends on how far you want your robot to go. So if I wanted it to go to the edge of the desk, I might say, 4 times. Now, let's say we want to play this program. There's a couple different ways to do this. You have to connect to your robot. Several of our computers are not Bluetooth enabled. They're not on the Wi-Fi. They're hardwired in, so they do not have Bluetooth capabilities. I will tell you in class which ones those are. Typically, they're the ones along the wall. So if you do not have Bluetooth, in order to connect your robot, you are simply going to get a USB cable. So here is a cable. You're going to plug the USB cord, this end, into your computer's USB port. Mine on my computer is right here. The other end of the USB is the small